I'm an only child. We've just moved to this house a few months ago, and I have no friends yet. I'm not sad because I'm poor, but because I'm lonely. I know you have many things to do with people to see, and you probably have no time for me, so I don't ask you to come to my house or bring anything. But could you send me a letter so I know you exist? My telegram read, Dear Peter, not only do I exist, but I'll be there on Christmas Day. Wait for me. We spotted the house and drove past it and parked around the corner. And then Santa got out with his big bag of toys slung over his shoulder and tramped through the snow. The house was wedged in between two tall buildings. The roof was of corrugated metal, and it was more of a shack than a house. I walked through the gate and up the front steps, and I rang the bell. A man opened the door. He was in his undershirt, and his pants stuck out of his stomach, bulged out of his pants. Boże mój, he exclaimed, and his hand went to his face. Boże mój. That's Polish, by the way.
Yes. Oh my God, it
He does? Yes, you know. Right? That's Polish. And his hand went to his face. But please, he stuttered. Please, the boy at church, I go get him, please wait. And he threw a coat over his bare shoulders, and assured that I would wait, he ran down the street in the snow. So I stood in front of the house, feeling good, and on the opposite side of the house, of the street, was this other shack. And through the window I could see these shiny little black faces peering at me and waving. And then the door opened shyly, and some voices called out to me, Hiya, Santa! Hiya, Santa! And I, my way over there. And this woman asked if I'd come in, and I did. And then there were these 5 young kids, from 1 to 7 years old. And I sat there and spoke to them of Santa and the spirit of love, which is the spirit of Christmas. And then, since they were not on my list, but assuming from the torn Christmas wrappings that I found on the floor that they'd gotten their presents, I asked them if they liked what Santa brought during the night. And each in turn thanked me for the woolen socks and the sweater and the warm new underwear. And I looked at them and said, didn't I bring you kids any toys? And they shook their heads sadly. I slipped up, I said. We'll have to fix that. I told them to wait. I'd be back in a few minutes. And I trudged heavily through the snow to the corner. And when I was out of their sight, I ran as fast as I could to the car. We had extra toys in the trunk. And I filled the bag up and went back to the house and gave each child a brand new toy. And there was joy and laughter. And the woman asked if she could take a picture of Santa with the kids, and sure, why not? And when Santa got ready to leave, I noticed that this cute little girl was crying. She was cute as a button. I bent down and I asked her, What's the matter, child? And she sobbed, Oh, Santa, I'm so happy. Excuse me, but I see that kid. You know, I see it as if she was right there. I'm so happy. And the tears rolled from my eyes, from under the mask.
What was last night about, my lord?
As I stepped out onto the street, Pan, proszę, come. There I heard this man Barsky across the way, and Santa Claus had walked into the house. The boy Peter just stood there and looked at me. You came. I wrote, and you came. And he turned to his pants. I wrote, and he came. And he repeated it over and over again. I wrote, and when he came, and when he recovered, I spoke with him about loneliness and friendship, and gave him a chemistry set, which I thought he would go for, and a basketball. And he thanked me profusely. And his mother, a heavy-set, Slavic-looking woman, said something to her husband in Polish. My parents were Polish, and so I speak a little and understand most of it. So I turned to her and I said, "From the north, oh," in Polish. And she looked at me and said, "You speak Polish?" I said, "Of course. Santa speaks all languages." I'm sorry, you know, this is not just a story, this is a real thing. So I get a little going back to where it was. And the following year, when the following year, the momentum of Christmas began to build. I felt a stirring inside of me, and I knew Santa was back. And I returned to the post office and to those letters, those heartbreaking letters. Dear Santa, my name is Janet, but they call me Pixie, and I'm 9 years old. My brother Mark is 7, and he fights with me all the time. But since he got leukemia, he lost a lot of weight and just lies in bed. He looks like a ghost. He doesn't want to fight anymore, and he often misses school, and he just stays in bed all the time. He looks miserable. I think it would cheer him up if you could get him something that he could play with in bed. Then maybe he'll get better and fight with me again. Thank you and Merry Christmas, Dixie. And Santa, I knew, had a job to do to keep the flame of hope alive. You know, when I shopped for toys, the manager of the toy department of a large department downtown store, he asked me how many children I had, and how, because I bought so many toys. And when I told him what I was doing, he started by letting me have 20% off. And then he could told me he could then give me $20 toys for $1 or $2 if I didn't mind that the wrapper was broken. And of course I didn't mind. I waited while he collected a number of these, but they weren't enough. So he scratched his head, reached for some dolls on the open shelf, and then went into the corner and made sure that nobody was looking, and punched a hole into the wrapping and turned to me and said, "These have broken wrappings too. Would you like those?" And a warm feeling came over me. By the 23rd of December, I was ready. The toys were gift wrapped with ribbons and bows. The names of the children were on each one. The itinerary was laid out, but you know it had snow yet. So snow. Santa had to have snow. He couldn't deliver Christmas on bare cement pavement. So I prayed for snow, and in the morning, the streets were covered. I guess someone up there heard me, and it was always a white Christmas. We drove from one section of the city to another, and Santa sat in the back, heavily in the back seat, waving at children in other cars and on the street. When we got to the inner part of the city, my wife stayed in the car while I went into this building where a child named Billy lived. There were cockroaches on the walls and rats on the stairs. I climbed 6 flights, sweating heavily under the suit, and knocked on the door. And when it opened on close family life and warmth. And you could eat so clean you could eat off the floor. Billy was 6 years old, and his letter had said, "Santa, I love you no matter what my brother says." And Billy had a mouthful of smiles, but his brother was 9 and already a skeptic. His wall was thick and mortared with street experience, and he kept his doors and windows locked. But every door has its key. You just have to find it. So Santa told jokes and made them laugh, and the wall came tumbling down. That's not what happened. Santa did not come in with "ho, ho, ho." Santa came out with "hey, hey, hey," like Fat Albert, and that made him laugh. And I did this for 12 years. going through the letters at the post office, listening to the cries of poor children, muffled in unopened envelopes. Children, letters from children who were past the age of believing, yet they owed the last farewell to Santa Claus and childhood and to hope. Answering the call of as many as I could, but frustrated at not being able to answer them all. But Santa was full of joy in the giving. And in time, Santa learned everything that you had to know in order to handle any situation. Like the kid who would walk up to Santa on the street and say, "Hey, Santa, where's your sleigh?" And I'd say, "How old are you, son?" And he'd say, 13. "Well," I'd say, "you're a big fella now, and you ought to know better. Santa used to come in a sleigh, but these are modern times. I come in a car now." And I'd hop in the back seat and my wife would drive off. Or the kid who'd come out and look at me closely and come out with, that's a mask. And you don't lie to kids. You gotta tell them the truth. "Of course it's a mask, son. If everybody knew what I really looked like, they'd bother me all year long and I couldn't get my things ready for Christmas. You can understand that, can't you?" Oh. But better than that, the thing that happened all the time. The mother who'd whisper to me so the children wouldn't hear, "Where do you come from?" Well, I turned to the child and said, "But Willie, your mom wants to know where I come from." And he'd say, "From the North Pole, Mommy," with absolute certainty. And she'd whisper to me again, No, I mean, how do you come to this house?" And I turned to him, "Willie, your mom wants to know why I came to your house." And he'd say, "'Cause I wrote him a letter, Mommy." And I'd pull out the letter, and she mailed it. And she's confused. And I'd leave it like that. Well, as time went on, that's through. The word got out about Santa Claus and me. And toy manufacturers like Mattel and Benco and Ideal sent me huge copies of gifts, toys, that I could put in the basement, and I could go to many more children than I started with. So I started with 18 or 20, and I wound up with 120, all of Christmas Eve and all of Christmas Day. And on my last call, a number of years ago, I knew there were 4 children in the family, and I came prepared. The house was small and sparsely furnished. The kids had been waiting all day, staring at the telegram and repeating to their skeptical mother, who kept saying, "It's just a joke." And they said, "No, Mommy, no. You come, Mommy." And as I rang the doorbell, the house lit up with joy and laughter. "He's here, he's here." And the door swings open and they all reach for my hands and hold on. "Hiya, Santa, hiya, Santa. We just knew you'd come." And these poor kids are all beaming with happiness, and I take each one of them on my lap and speak to them of rainbows and snowflakes, and tell them stories of hope and waiting, and give them each a toy. And all the while, there's this 5th child standing in the corner, a cute little girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. And when I'm through with the others, I turn to her and say, "You're not part of this family, are you?" And she shakes her head sadly and whispers, "No." "Come closer, child." And she hesitates, but she comes closer. "What's your name?" "Lisa." "How old are you?" "7." "Come, sit on my lap." And I lift her up and sit her on my lap. "Did you get any toys for Christmas?" I asked. "No," she says with puckered lips. So I take out this beautiful doll. "Here, do you want this doll?" "No," she says. And she leans over to me and whispers in my ear, "I'm Jewish." And I turn to her and say, "I'm Jewish too." "You want the doll?" "Oh yes," she says, and she grabs the doll and hugs it and runs out. And I don't feel that Santa's lived with me, given me a great deal of happiness all those years. And now, when Christmas rolls around, he comes out of hiding and whispers in my ear, "Merry Christmas, my friend." And I turn to you
Merry Christmas to you, my friends.
Merry Christmas.